Here's a pretty simple trade setup to look for. This is a trend break. We're not going to be using a lot of indicators here. We're just going to be using volume bars. So what you see down here is volume bars. The red bars are when there's a higher amount of sell volume versus buy volume, and the green bars are the opposite, higher amount of buy volume versus sell volume. Aside from that, we're just going to use a trend line. So in this case, this is the NASDAQ on a 2-minute chart. So each one of these bars is 2 minutes. The price has been falling for quite a bit. We were bounced off of support, then we came crashing through, and we're just falling pretty much all day. So I'm starting to look for a reversal because we're starting to fall so much. At some point, you're going to reverse. So I'm looking for a reversal, and instead of just taking the first bounce, you see you have to wait for price to set up some sort of a structure. So in this case, we had a spike in sell volume, like you see here in the red bar. And then we bounced up, and then we came back down. So we have another spike in sell volume. And then notice that the buy volume, after the red spike, the volume dies down. So it goes up while volume is dying down. That's not very convincing that this is going to continue to go higher. So spike in sell volume, low buy volume, price goes up, fails, comes back down, makes a new low, another spike in red volume, dying buy volume, spike in sell volume, and then dying buy volume. So again, not super convincing that it's going to keep going here. So it does in fact keep going down. Now this is when we have enough structure to build a trend. So to build a trend line, all you have to do is join the tops. So when you got two peaks like this, two sort of descending peaks, all you have to do is just join these peaks. Just like that. And you'll end up finding that these trends, when they break, we're going to just go all the way out like that. When this trend line breaks to the upside, that's usually a good spot to go long when it comes along with some buy volume. So at this point, so we can make a second peak. Now we can make a trend line, and we're going to look for that trend line to be broken, and be broken also with a spike in buy volume versus a spike in sell volume. So we hit a support zone that we have previously noted, and we bounce off of it pretty nicely. And then at this point, something different happens. We don't have a spike in sell volume. We instead have a spike in this bar here. We have a spike in buy volume, showing that there are in fact interested buyers. This is what's called a demand zone. So this is the volume here is confirming that there's some buyers here. We shoot up really strong bars. We start heading towards the trend line, and now something different happens. We don't bounce off of it like we did before. Instead, we go sideways here. So this is a clear break of this trend line. So see how it happened here? We hit it, bounced off of it, and we hit it, bounced off of it. Then we hit it again, this time with a spike in buy volume, and instead of bouncing off of it, the trend line is broken and price breaks above it. Once this happens, this is when I started to buy, and I bought in. We continued to go higher. We had a really nice rally up, and then I sold kind of near the top here. This was a $620 trade, and so a pretty simple setup to look for. $620. We already had $100, and so it made us put us up $720 on the day. But this is one of my favorite trades to look for. I don't actually use them super often, but when I do find them, I always try to play them. So again, you don't need a whole lot here to look at other than find an area where price is creating sort of these descending hills. As soon as you got 2, then you can draw a trend line. This is interesting here too, because it actually hit the trend line again and bounced off of it. We climbed all the way back up this bar here and then slammed back down. We actually hit it a 3rd time. But again, this trend line was already there before that happened. So this is how powerful sometimes these trend lines can be. So we draw that. As soon as this bar closed, we can draw the line. And then to the penny, this bar actually hit it. And it slammed all the way back down. So at this point, when this bar was being created, it shot all the way up and then bounced off the trend line and came all the way back down. So these trend lines really do work. So it works to try to short against them. Like here, you could have went short. And also when the trend breaks, then it's an opportunity to go long. That's what we did here. Put us up $720 on the day.